Welcome to I Love Asian Dramas. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel to get notified when new videos are uploaded. The title of this Korean romantic comedy drama is She Would Never Know from JTBC with 16 episodes. The story begins with Hyun Seung and Hyun Seung in a meeting with a colleague discussing a new cosmetic foundation. As her senior, Seung takes great pride in training Hyun Seung. While at the office, one of their co-workers hands out wedding invitations, surprising everyone to learn that the groom is one of their own, who has been secretly dating. BM Lee Jae Shin catches Seung's attention with some extra instructions for one of their projects, while director Lee Jae-woon reprimands BM Seo for his lack of competence. During a market research session, Hyun Seung encourages Seung to choose a lipstick for herself. Pretending to be her boyfriend, he asks for her cooperation, explaining that they can't conduct the market research openly. Seung warns him to be mindful of how it might look to onlookers, and Hyun Seung agrees, keeping their appearances in check. At home, Hyun Seung remembers their first meeting during university days, bringing a smile to his face. Later, he shares a meal with his sisters, Chae Ji-sung and Chae Yeon-sung, where they tease him about still being single. Meanwhile, Jae-woon picks up his sister, Lee Hyo-ju, from work and pretends to be her boyfriend, rescuing her from the advances of a handsome young model. Following Hyun Seung's birthday celebration, Hyun Seung sees Seung outside the restaurant and discovers that she is dating Jae Shin, leaving him heartbroken. Confiding in his sister Ji-sung about his feelings, he finds comfort in her words. During a visit to Ji-sung at her workplace, Hyun Seung spots Jae Shin with Hyo-ju, which flusters him, especially knowing that Jae Shin is planning to marry someone else while dating Seung. Hyun Seung looks at Jae Shin with suspicion due to this revelation. His odd behavior catches Seung's attention, prompting her to discreetly kick him under the table to intervene. Curiosity gets the better of him as he follows her and overhears a conversation between Seung and Jae Shin. Feeling a sense of urgency, Hyun Seung insists that Seung must meet with him tonight because he has something important to discuss. Seung was taken aback by Hyun Seung's response when she confronted him about why he kept meddling in her life. He revealed that he has feelings for her, leaving her stunned as she grappled with the painful reality that her boyfriend was getting married to someone else. Enraged, Seung told Hyun Seung to stop liking her and to stay out of her affairs. Meanwhile, Jae Shin felt cornered into marrying Hyo-ju due to Jae-woon's pleas for him to accept his sister. At the department store, Jae-woon had developed an instant connection with Ji-sung, which motivated him to create a limited edition lipstick for her. Heartbroken, Seung ignored all of Jae Shin's calls. At work, still angry with Hyun Seung, she brushed him off every time he tried to talk to her. When she told Jae Shin she wanted their relationship to be public, he promised to think about it, but his vague reply only left her feeling frustrated. Eventually, Seung mustered the courage to approach Hyun Seung, asking for his advice. In response, he suggested that she date him. However, Seung had no interest in dating Hyun Seung. During a business trip with their superior, Seung and Hyun Seung found themselves navigating a tense situation. Meanwhile, Ji-sung was deep in thought, troubled by her brother's request not to provide Hyo-ju with their wedding dress. Hyun Seung confronted Seung about her lingering feelings for Jae Shin, which sparked anger in her. Jae-woon was taken aback when he spotted Ji-sung, but felt let down when he mistakenly believed she was with a child. When Jae-woon asked the kid if Ji-sung was her mother, he ran off in fright, worried that Ji-sung might catch him. Upon returning from the business trip, their superior asked Hyun Seung to drop off Seung on her way home, as his route conveniently passed her place. Thanks to Hyun Seung's efforts, the products were delivered on time, despite Seung forgetting to place the order. Grateful for his help, Seung invited Hyun Seung out for a drink. They took the opportunity to apologize, rekindling their friendship. Eventually, Seung broke up with Jae Shin, telling him she no longer had feelings for him. When Jae Shin became aggressive, Hyun Seung stepped in, telling him to back off and leave her alone. Seung had a heartfelt conversation with Jae Shin, making it clear that she's made up her mind about their breakup and her decision won't waver. She expressed her gratitude to Hyun Seung for his support and reminded him to stay cautious at work, noting that they only need to act like a couple when Jae Shin is around. Unfortunately, Jae Shin publicly criticized Hyun Seung's performance in front of their colleagues, prompting Song-ah to step up and take full responsibility as Hyun Seung's trainer until the very end. As she trained him on their product lineup, Song-ah couldn't help but smile at how cute he looked wearing the headband. When Hyun Seung accidentally got cleanser in his eyes, Song-ah rushed to help, and in that moment, they truly resembled a loving couple. Hyun Seung playfully teased Song-ah, making her giggle when she flicked her finger on his forehead. Meanwhile, the backstory of Jae Shin's unwavering loyalty to Jae-woon came to light. It stemmed from a deal made in their middle school days. Jae Shin, facing financial difficulties, asked Jae-woon for help to study abroad. In return, Jae Shin promised his loyalty, but Jae-woon simply wanted a friend, not allegiance. When Jae Shin warned Hyun Seung that Song-ah was just using him, Hyun Seung firmly responded that he would always protect her. Playing around, Hyun Seung joked about being beaten up by Jae Shin, which understandably worried Song-ah. However, their playful banter was interrupted when manager Yu caught on to their blossoming relationship. In a surprising turn of events, Jae Shin proposed to Song-ah, but she could hardly take him seriously anymore. Overcome with emotion, she cried in front of Hyun Seung, who offered her comfort through his steady presence. On a different note, as Jae Shin and Hyoju prepared for their wedding photo shoot, Hyun Seung spotted Song-ah at a disco club. He followed her, watching as she danced joyfully, unaware of his gaze. When she finally noticed him, she became flustered, caught off guard by his presence. After a night of clubbing, they decided to grab a drink at a restaurant. Hyun Seung lightheartedly teased his sister about dating, which left her feeling flustered. Meanwhile, director Lee offered Song-ah a chance to work in Europe, but he had to leave abruptly due to an urgent matter. Song-ah told Jae Shin that she wouldn't be taking the opportunity. Jae-woon was relieved to hear that Ji Sung was still single. In a surprising turn of events, Jae Shin announced Hyun Seung's transfer to a different team leader, despite Song-ah's objections. Hyoju felt frustrated upon learning that Ji Sung wouldn't be able to create her wedding dress. Later, she witnessed Jae Shin trying to assist Song-ah with some heavy packages, which sparked her suspicion about their relationship. Meanwhile, Hyun Seung was at a drinking spot with the sales team, happily bonding with his coworkers. Concerned for his well-being, Song-ah went looking for him, only to find him already drunk. In the morning, as Hyun Seung woke up, he felt a wave of embarrassment wash over him, recalling his drunken blunder with Song-ah. She had gently reminded him not to make the same mistake again. To make amends, Hyun Seung brought Song-ah a snack since she was working late. Meanwhile, Jae Shin confessed to Song-ah that he was compelled to marry Hyoju, a decision mandated by Jae-woon, and he had no choice but to go along with it. He urged Song-ah not to overlook the incredible opportunity of working in Europe, despite her anger towards him. During the Klar's event, the male model's absence led the team to choose Hyun Seung as a last-minute replacement. As he prepared, Song-ah lent her support to help him shine. Later, Song-ah visited her parents for her father's memorial, but a difference in opinions sparked a heated argument, causing her to leave her mother upset. In the rush to correct a misprint on the lipstick cover, Hyun Seung suggested using a sticker as a simple fix. He worked overtime, determined to finish everything on schedule. Concerned for him, Song-ah called, and during their conversation, Hyun Seung inquired about her plans for Europe, to which she stated that she would not be going. Unbeknownst to him, Song-ah was watching him from a distance. While helping him, she began to feel drowsy and ended up falling asleep on his shoulder. Hyun Seung braved the rain to fetch towels for Song-ah, ensuring she would be comfortable enough to sleep. This thoughtful gesture prompted Song-ah to question why he had feelings for her despite her many flaws. Hyun Seung assured her that he was more than willing to wait for her. Meanwhile, the employees at Klar were taken by surprise upon learning of the wedding announcement that the chairman's granddaughter was set to marry Jae Shin. Jae Shin confirmed the news and invited everyone to celebrate at his wedding. On the street, Song-ah caught sight of manager Kang and impulsively decided to run off with Hyun Seung. When he asked why they were running, she laughed and admitted she had no idea. Later, Song-ah expressed her apology to Hyun Seung for turning down his earlier confession of love, but he responded with understanding, saying he would keep his distance for now. In another part of town, Jae-woon met Ji-sung and gave her a lipstick as a thoughtful gift. He felt elated when she requested his business card and they arranged to go on a date soon. Jae Shin, seeking to sever ties with his father, confronted him, resulting in a request for 300 million won, with a promise of no further interference. Hyo-ju, feeling a pang of jealousy at the sight of Jae Shin with Song-ah, was relieved when Hyun Seung stepped in to defuse the situation. Hyo-ju felt a wave of relief when she learned that Song-ah and Hyun Seung were dating. During the KLAR's campus recruitment event, a stunning woman approached Hyun Seung, but he brushed her off without a second thought. Later, he invited Song-ah to a gathering with his friends, where she seamlessly fit in with the group. As she waited for him to sober up, Hyun Seung leaned on Song-ah's shoulder, appreciating her presence. It turned out that the beautiful woman was his ex-girlfriend, who was hoping to rekindle their relationship, but Hyun Seung firmly turned her down. Concerned for him, Song-ah reached out and met up with him, offering words of comfort and advice. During their conversation, Hyun Seung admitted that he still harbored feelings for her but was determined to respect her wishes and keep his distance. He was taken aback when Song-ah expressed her discomfort with him distancing himself, revealing that she wanted to maintain the close bond they once shared. Song-ah is still trying to figure out her feelings for Hyun Seung, uncertain if she has truly fallen for him. After sharing her confusion, a smile spread across Hyun Seung's face. He celebrated his success after presenting an incredible makeup renewal stick, earning him first place and bringing joy to his colleagues. In a moment of playful intimacy, Hyun Seung asked Song-ah to caress his head to share in his achievement, but she soon discovered he was running a fever. Concerned, she took care of him. Meanwhile, Jae-woon made a surprise visit to Ji-sung at her workplace, asking her to create a custom suit for him. As she took his measurements, the two shared a passionate kiss that ignited their feelings for one another. Hyun Seung encouraged Song-ah to take her time in sorting out her emotions, promising that once she was sure about her feelings, he would offer her the most beautiful love. On a different note, Song-ah's mother confessed she needed surgery, but when Song-ah suggested it, her mother hesitated, leading to a heated argument. The tension escalated when they brought up the past infidelity of Song-ah's father. Seeking solace, Song-ah turned to Hyun Seung to unload her emotions, and in that intimate moment, she suddenly confessed her feelings for him, declaring that she likes him. This revelation brought a smile to Hyun Seung's face, filling him with happiness. Hyun Seung couldn't contain the happiness swelling in his heart now that he is officially dating the woman he loves. He leaned in to kiss Song-ah, but hesitated as she wasn't ready to take that step yet. Meanwhile, Jae Shin was grappling with the sudden loss of his father in a car accident, prompting his colleagues to attend the funeral to support him during this difficult time. Song-ah accompanied her mother, who finally made the decision to go through with the surgery. Concerned about the outcome, the team anxiously awaited news, and when Hyun Seung announced that the surgery had gone well, it sparked suspicions about his secret relationship with Song-ah. The two soon went camping together, where Song-ah voiced her concerns, saying she wouldn't risk everything for love, wanting to avoid the struggles her mother faced. Hyun Seung reassured her, promising he would put everything on the line for love, leading them to share a passionate kiss. Hyun Seung is thrilled when Song-ah grants him permission to share a tent for the night, leading to a delightful experience together. However, back at the office, Song-ah puts on a brave face, pretending not to be dating Hyun Seung, unaware that her colleagues are also keeping their secret relationship under wraps. Hyun Seung is frustrated when BMCO launches the Renew stick without consulting him, despite being the developer. Fortunately, his teammates rally around him to provide support. Song-ah offers Hyun Seung valuable advice and creative suggestions, resulting in tender moments exchanged between them. During a meeting, Hyun Seung proposes the idea of giving away the Renew stick as a freebie, which the team embraces enthusiastically. Meanwhile, Jae Shin visits his mother, only to be met with a chilly reception. Although BMCO is against Hyun Seung's proposal, Director Lee has already greenlit the idea. As Hyun Seung and Song share sweet moments at work, they remain oblivious to manager Kwon observing them from afar. Tensions flare when Jae Shin and Hyoju have a fierce argument, prompting Jae Shin to agree to Hyoju's wish to end their relationship. Jae-woon is taken aback when he discovers Jae Shin's resignation letter on his desk and realizes he can't reach him anymore. Hyoju, frustrated by Jae Shin's abrupt exit, vents her anger on Song, but thankfully, Jae-woon steps in to defuse the situation. When Jae-woon questioned his sister about what happened with Jae Shin, she remained tight-lipped. In his quest for answers, he turned to Song and learned that she had previously dated Jae Shin. Hyun Seung encouraged Song to go public with their relationship to put an end to the rumors surrounding her and Jae Shin. However, she hesitated, worried that it might have negative repercussions for Hyun Seung. Meanwhile, a prominent online influencer criticized the Klar's product, and without concrete evidence, they felt unable to respond. Determined to defend their brand, Song and Hyun Seung spent sleepless nights scouring the influencer's videos and finally uncovered one that could serve their case. The following morning, they reached out to the influencer, warning her that if she didn't correct her inaccuracies, they would take legal action. The influencer subsequently released an apology video, rectifying the misinformation regarding the Klar products. Hyun Seung took on the responsibility of training the new intern and approached it with dedication. He introduced Song to his sister as his girlfriend, much to Ji Sung's delight. However, Hyun Seung was taken aback by Jae Shin's unexpected appearance. Jae Shin offered a heartfelt apology to Song, which she accepted, paving the way for a new, amicable friendship between them. Later, Song visited Hyun Seung to reassure him, and their meeting culminated in a passionate kiss. One day, Song's mother made an unannounced visit to her workplace, but since Song was working off-site, Hyun Seung graciously invited her to dinner. Meanwhile, a former colleague approached Song with a job opportunity abroad, urging her to consider it carefully. Hyoju insisted to her brother that she wouldn't eat unless he brought Jae Shin along. Hyun Seung felt upset upon discovering that Song was contemplating a move to Europe without informing him first. Understanding her aspirations, Song apologized, and Hyun Seung assured her that he would always back her decisions. In a tough conversation, Jae Shin visited Hyoju in the hospital to formally break things off with her. Hyun Seung pleaded with Song not to go to Europe, but after a sincere apology, she expressed her desire to accept the opportunity. The team gathered for a meeting to prepare for Song's turnover before her move to Europe. Ji Sung introduced Jae-woon as her boyfriend, prompting Jae-woon to be extra attentive to Hyun Seung in hopes of winning his approval. Song's mother playfully teased her about having such a great boyfriend. Meanwhile, Hyoju confided in her brother, expressing her struggle to let go of Jae Shin, and Jae-woon offered words of comfort to his sister. Hyun Seung and Song cherished their time together, making the most of the moments before her departure to Europe. Jae-woon felt overjoyed when the suit crafted by his girlfriend was completed and fit him perfectly. Song also took the time to bond with her mother, knowing she would miss her dearly while abroad. Fast forward 3 years, Hyun Seung had become a dedicated manager, working just as hard as ever. In an unexpected twist, Hyoju ran into Jae Shin at a restaurant. She approached him, sharing that she was doing well, and he acknowledged her with a positive response. Later, at a crosswalk, Hyun Seung caught sight of Song, but, choosing to act indifferent, turned and walked in the opposite direction, ignoring her presence. A year ago, Song made the tough decision to break up with Hyun Seung due to her hectic schedule. Upon returning home, she received an offer to work at Klar. Meanwhile, Jae-woon and Ji Sung were busy preparing for their wedding and decorating their new home, but Jae-woon felt frustrated because Ji Sung was too wrapped up in work to focus on the preparations. Song accepted the job at Klar, leading her to team up with Hyun Seung for product sampling at stores. After the event, she invited him to dinner, but he turned her down. Instead, Song went to the sales team dinner and ended up getting drunk. When Hyun Seung found her at the bus stop drunk, he couldn't hold back his feelings and stepped in to help her. In her intoxicated state, Song-ah confessed her feelings to him, apologizing and admitting that she still loved him. The next morning, she felt embarrassed as she recalled her drunken confession. Jae Shin invited Hyoju to lunch as a thank you for the fantastic job she did on the photo shoot for their products, even on short notice. They enjoyed their time together. Later, Song-ah approached Hyun Seung, expressing her apologies for the previous night's events and assuring him she wouldn't bother him again. During a fire drill, in a moment of panic, Song-ah grabbed Hyun Seung and pulled him toward the fire exit, unaware it was just a drill. When he told her it was a false alarm, she felt a wave of embarrassment wash over her. He teasingly remarked that clearly she cared about his safety. That evening, as Hyun Seung reflected on Song-ah's reaction earlier, a smile crept onto his face. When she attempted to touch his face while he pretended to be asleep, he suddenly woke up and playfully told her that he was open to her winning him over again. Song-ah reached out to her friend for advice on how to win over a guy. Her friend suggested that the best approach is to show genuine sincerity. Taking this to heart, Song-ah became more attentive to Hyun Seung, expressing her interest in him. Meanwhile, Jae-woon was overwhelmed with joy when Ji-sung proposed, especially since he had been busy organizing their wedding plans. Song-ah was also delighted to see her mother happily chatting with friends. In a moment of honesty, Song-ah sincerely apologized to Hyun Seung for any hurt she had caused him in the past. To her surprise, he responded with a passionate kiss, rekindling their romance. Now, the two were sweetly dating in secret at work. Although Song-ah's mother pretended to disapprove of their relationship, the couple playfully teased her, proclaiming that they couldn't imagine life without each other. Jae Shin took the time to congratulate Jae-woon on his upcoming wedding and expressed sincere gratitude for the kindness he had shown him. One day at the crosswalk, Song-ah invited Hyun Seung to enjoy the beautiful cherry blossoms in spring. She expressed her desire to spend every season with him in the years to come, but he playfully replied with his usual, next year. Their banter ended with a sweet kiss, and the series concluded with Hyun Seung and Song-ah trying on wedding attire together. Hello. Feel free to check out another video or subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and drop a comment below. Thanks a bunch for tuning in.